You see that Honda logo, right? And you probably think success, a global giant. But the real story of the man behind it, Soichiro Honda, well, it's not really about success at all. It's this almost unbelievable lesson in failure and what it really takes to just keep going when the odds are completely stacked against you.
And this quote, this is the heart of it all. We all know that 1%, the cars, the motorcycles, the worldwide empire. But what about that other 99%? That's where the real story is. So let's dive in and unpack the failures that actually forged a legend.
All right, so let's rewind. Way back, our story kicks off in the 1930s. We're not in some fancy boardroom, we're in a little dusty workshop. And in that workshop is a young mechanic, Soichiro Honda, who is just completely obsessed with a single massive dream. Now, you gotta understand, this guy wasn't some wealthy industrialist with a safety net. Not at all. He was starting from scratch, with basically nothing but raw ambition and this incredibly clear vision of what he wanted to create. And his whole world revolved around this one little thing, a piston ring. Seriously. Not a whole car, not even a whole engine, but perfecting this one tiny, super critical component. He figured if he could just master the piston ring, it would be his ticket to the big leagues, to working with Toyota. And he went all in. I mean, all in. He didn't just invest some money, he invested his entire life. He drained his savings, he even pawned his wife's jewelry for capital. He was literally betting everything he and his family had on what he could create in his little workshop. So after all that sacrifice, after the sleepless nights and risking financial ruin, what happened? He got a flat-out no. Toyota told him his piston rings just weren't good enough. And it wasn't just a rejection. He became the butt of jokes in his community for even daring to dream that big. You'd think that would be rock bottom, right? Nope. That rejection was just the warm-up act. What came next was this relentless, almost unbelievable series of disasters that honestly would have crushed just about anyone else. So what does he do? Give up? No way! He goes back to school. For 2 whole years, he hit the books, he refined his designs, and finally, he did it. He won the contract with Toyota. But just as he got that first taste of success, the world decided to throw him another curveball.
Okay, this stuff that happens next, it's just wild. World War II breaks out and the government won't give him concrete to build his factory. So what does he do? He invents his own way of making concrete. Then, the factory he just built gets bombed twice. And if that wasn't enough, just as he's trying to salvage the scraps, a massive earthquake hits and flattens what little was left. So let's just pause and take stock here. At the end of the war, he was at absolute zero. The dream, the factory, the Toyota contract, all his money, it was all just gone, wiped clean off the map. But here's the crazy part. It's right here, from this point of total absolute ruin, that the Honda we actually know today begins to take shape. It's a powerful reminder that real innovation almost never comes from a place of comfort. I mean, just try to put yourself in his shoes for a minute. Post-war Japan is a mess, there are crippling gas shortages. It wasn't just about a lost factory anymore. It was about a really basic problem. He couldn't even get around to find food for his family. So his next big breakthrough wasn't some grand vision for a global empire. It was much, much simpler. He found this tiny surplus generator engine, and he looked at his bicycle and he must have thought, I wonder, what if I stick this on here? And just like that, this noisy, smoky, makeshift motorbicycle he built for himself was a massive hit. His neighbors saw it chugging along and they didn't just think it was cool, they needed one. He had accidentally solved a huge problem for everyone around him. So, okay, he's got a winning idea. Demand is starting to explode, but there's just one final massive wall in front of him. He was still completely, utterly broke. So you've got skyrocketing demand and absolutely zero cash. How do you pull that off? Well, Honda's next move was just as creative, just as unconventional as his little motorized bike. He didn't go to big investors or banks. He couldn't. Instead, he did something kind of crazy. He sat down and hand-wrote 18,000 letters to every single bicycle shop owner he could find in Japan. He basically said, hey, I've got this idea. Will you bet on me? And you know what? 5,000 of them did. They sent him their own money. And that money from those 5,000 small-time shop owners, that was the spark.
That's what funded the production of the Super Cub, which would go on to become the best-selling motor vehicle in history. That was the real foundation of the Honda empire.
Which brings us full circle, right back to where we started. That massive global company is just the 1%. The other 99%, well, that's everything we just talked about. The rejection, the ridicule, the war, the bombs, the earthquake. Success isn't about avoiding failure. It's the tiny little part that's left standing after the storm.
So this story of Soichiro Honda really leaves us with a pretty powerful question. His journey teaches us that failure isn't the opposite of success. It's the raw material. It's the messy, painful 99% that makes the 1% even possible. So it's worth asking yourself, what's the 99% failure in your story that's building your success?